So, good afternoon. April 17, 2014. This is CISG114, Section 1, Web Technology and Life. Today is day number 19 in week number 10. So, let's get started. First of all, welcome back. Today is the very last class in the third learning contract. So, after today's class, your third learning contracts will be over. Okay, let me make sure that you can see the screen first. Okay, that's very good. You can see the screen immediately. Well, I hope you get used to putting together your team, and you have about 5 minutes time today, definitely the next 15 minutes. To organize yourself and then play around your team to see what progress you've been doing in terms of your last learning contract. And if you know that, and if you have already read the message I gave you, I have finished grading your first and second learning contract. And you should go to the individual assessment record to take a good look at the score you received in the second learning contract. And of course, you'll also see the score you received in the first learning contract, but be sure in the first learning contract you'll always get 10 points, full score, okay? Because that is what we call an encouragement score. So the actual score is full score in the first learning contract, but you also receive a score based on the assessment, that is the indications of the maturity in terms of getting the first contract done. But you need to know how to calculate your score. When you read the score returned to you for the second learning contract and also the first learning contract, you should be able to see journal, 4 points, right? And then discussion forums, how many points are there? It's more than 4 points. 12 points? Did you read that? Because you have 3 sub-criteria, right? And each sub-criteria give you some points out of 4, right? So the total is 12. And then you have to report. How many points are there in the report? 20 points, okay? And then you have the block. How many points are there in the block? Another 20 points. So 20, 20, 40, 52 plus 4, 56, right? And then how many points for the proposal? 4, right? And how many points for the meeting minutes? 4, right? So 52 plus another 8 points, 60 points, right? Is it 60 or more than 60? Have you got it? So both the first learning contract and the second learning contract, the war score is about 60, okay? And then of course, for the first learning contract, you are always sure to convert the 60 score into 10 score, which is the semester score, okay? You got full, because that is called an encouragement score. But what about the second learning contract? Check it out, because you need to know how many points you already received for the first 20 semester points, for the first 2 learning contracts, okay? And then by next Friday, when you submit your third learning contract, and if you prefer to do the digital story, it's 15 points. So after next Friday, when you have finished submitting it, I hope to get you back to you in about 4 days' time, okay? Then you will be able to know how many points are there you receive out of the free learning contract, which if you prefer to do the digital story, 35 points, okay? Out of 35 points, how many points you got already? So have you checked that? Or do you have any questions about that? So make sure you understand how to do that. And remember, how do you get, how many more points do you get, all right? So that's why today I have to bring back to your memory. So if you go back to our week 1 block, if you come to assessment here, okay? If you come to assessment here, you will see in the assessment, for the learning contract 1, 2, and 3, they are just 30 points. But if you do the digital story for learning contract number 3, instead of 10 points, you have 15 points. So now you've got full score for the first learning contract if you have already submitted them. So 10% is already earned. And then I finished grading your learning contract number 2, and you can go back to see the war score you have. I've just given you the indications about 60 points. Our war score at the 60 point will be converted back to 10 points. Okay? So you just add up how many points you earn out of, say, 60 points. It's 4, 12, 20, 20, and then it's 4, 4. Do you remember that? 4, 12, 20, 20. It's 52 plus 4, 56. 56 plus another 8. It's about 64 points. Okay, so 64 points for that war score. 64 points for that war score. And for the first learning contract, you got the 10 points full as the encouragement score. Okay. And then you got this. Now you know the war score, and you know how many points out of 10 points you got. And make sure you do a good job here, because it's about 10 points, and with another 5 points as bonus. And then starting from next week, you are getting into the learning portfolio project, which will last for 4 weeks until the end of the semester. And the learning portfolio will give you 20 points. Now, look here, you have another 15 points to earn, which is the learn-to-learn activities. Okay? How do you earn this 15 points? 10 points of these come from 10 individual journals, 1 in each of the past 10 weeks. Now, as I mentioned as a last class, of course, quality is better than quantity. So when I say 10 journals in the past 10 weeks, actually I mean in each of the past 10 weeks, you need to select one topic, one question only. That's good enough. One question and provide the OIA of that question, and one set of these from each of the past 10 weeks. That would be good enough. If you do not hit that, you might be burdened with, oh, there's 6 questions in this week. Does it mean I need to produce 6 sets of OIA? Listen, 1 will be good enough. Okay, 1 per week, 1 question per week. So if you have 10 sets of OIA based on 10 questions, each one of these being taken from one of the past 10 weeks, you will have 10 points already for this learn-to-learn score. What about the other 5 points? I expect you produce 5 different blocks based on 5 different topics. How do you go from a journal to a blog? You know that in the past, to learning contract, you need to have discussions with your learning partner, and you need to elaborate on something in terms of a report, but these are saved, and you still need to do it. Just the blocks will be good enough. So 10 journal, 10 sets of OIA, that means based on 10 different topics, plus 5 blocks. Each one of these blocks is based on one specific question. In other words, you will have 15 topics done, okay, at least, and then to earn this 15 points. Normally, no student will lose this 15 points. Normally, each student in the past semester earn the full 15 points, okay? So make sure you do not lose the 15 points here. It's very important. And of course, an in-class sharing here. Now, this is the flexibility I give to each semester student. You know this is 20% here, and you know this is 20% here, okay? Normally, the learning portfolio will contain only 20 semester points. But if you believe you can do a good job here, I can put 10 points in after that and become 30 points. In other words, you only need to earn 10 points in. How do you earn 10 points in? Remember, this is very practical. If you have done 5 different in-class participations throughout the semester with your coming up to share or with your discussions after watching a video, you just list 5 important in-class activities, okay? And then with the video link which is available from the Moodle environment, I will give you per item 2 points. And with 5 means 10 points together. Now if you believe that no, I don't need to change the score, then give me 10 items here. Okay? If you give me 10 items here, with a final for the video, I give you 20 points. Each item 2 points. Okay, so it's very practical if you do in-class participations. You can earn this at that 35-point strength. Okay, and I also offer you the flexibility that you believe you just have 5 different activities done in class, use 5 and transfer 10% to the learning portfolio here. Okay, and of course the midterm. Remember, next Thursday is the midterm. This will you will earn 50 points. Now remember, your midterm will be taken place at T118. It's a computer room. T118. Next Thursday, okay, when you come back after the Easter recess or holiday, you go to T118 next Thursday directly. It's a computer room where you will have the midterm exam. Okay. Now remember, if you have your own notebook computer, now what CISG does, you can bring your own notebook computer into the computer room. Use it, okay, as your computer for writing the midterm. Okay. Do you remember what you need to do in the midterm? Good, very good. Just like in your first and second learning contract. In 3 consecutive 30 minutes, not in the first 30 minutes, you need to select a question, okay, from any one of the 10 reading lists. Okay, we have 10 reading lists here, from any one of the 10 reading lists, and then select an information item you have not done before underneath that question. Use 30 minutes time to produce 1 set of OIA for that question. After you have done that in the first half an hour, you take your set of OIA and put it in the discussion forum where you will be given in the midterm. And there you can share with your learning partner. The learning partner will help you to discuss your question. And you have to help your learning partner to discuss his or her question with the set of OIA for another 30 minutes. At the very last 30 minutes, each one of you need to use the discussion details and your set of OIA based on your question and write a blog on that. Okay? So it's basically a practice in class of what you have been doing in learning contract 1, in learning contract 2, as well as in learning contract 3. Okay? So you should feel comfortable with that. It's open book. There's nothing hidden. Open the website, open this website, everything is open to you. You are asked to demonstrate the maturity of the learning throughout the past 3 learning contract. And so it's very important that today I bring you back to this assessment scheme. Okay? I have just given you the hints that you can actually have a little bit more flexibility between these 20 points here. Okay? You can shift 10 points from the in-class participations to the learning portfolio depending on the maturity and the confidence of work done here. Starting next week, the themes will be moved to learning portfolio, which is based on integrative learning. Okay, what is meant by integrative learning? Combining what you have learned so far in the past 3 learning contract. Okay, and you have to do it alone. Well, individual portfolio, but you can definitely use the result produced in 3 different learning contracts as a result of your peer work, as a result of your teamwork. Okay, so I will tell you more about this next week. If not, one after next week, because next week you have a midterm exam. Okay, and next Monday is still a holiday. So. But anyway, it's not going to be difficult. Read the teacher's message, which is going to be released on this Sunday, which is very much about the learning portfolio. Okay? Now, the next thing I would like you to pay attention to, because today is the very last class to elaborate on the 3rd learning contract. So it's important that we come back to the learning design of this course. In the learning design of this course, the first period is represented by learning contract number 1, and the theme of learning contract number 1 is IVL. Now, remember, at the end of each learning contract, I happen to ask you to put some thinking into what is meant by first learning contract IBL, or what is meant by the second learning contract SRL. And on reading your questionnaire, I'm grateful many of you have already got the idea. But in case you miss out some of the important points, allow me to bring you back to this revision page, which is on the side, which is already given from the beginning of the semester, called the course learning design. You can read this page to get a better understanding or refreshment of the IBL, together with the items you have already produced in your first learning contract and the expected competency acquired. Okay? So if you read this, you should be able to understand what is entailed in IBL. Okay? And the concept is basically self-directed learning. Okay? Self-directed learning is an important element. And then the second one, in the second learning contract, is called a self-regulated learning, SRL. And of course, there are several points here. Again, I chose to make it 4, okay? Read them all to refresh your memory on what you should have learned to acquire the skill. These are the artifacts you produce in the second learning contract with the self-ability. And now, this is the very last within learning contract number 3, and the theme of learning contract number 3 is PBL, problem-based learning. So it's on one page that you should get yourself refreshed in terms of the theme, the learning mode, and the expected artifacts, okay, that you're going to produce. So problem-based learning, and you can understand a little bit, is basically the combinations of IBL and SRL. It's very much self-directed. It's one form of active learning in class, outside the classroom. It's mainly teamwork, and so one helping with the other, but it must be developed based on the individual responsibility demonstrated in the teamwork. So we have a very detailed explanations here. And of course, at the end of your next week's midterm, okay, also on Friday is the very last day for you to submit the artifact. You will have another questionnaires to help you refresh the memory. Okay, it's very important that you understand the design of the course. Okay, so now may I just pass you back your 10 minutes time so that you can manage yourself in class and take charge of your work. Okay, and yes. These is a group of very helpful lady. You need to get back to them. Yes, okay. Excellent. Okay, it's your time now. You have 10 minutes time to discuss among yourself. Alright? 10 minutes time. So do you understand where we are at this point, and we're in the very last week of the last learning contract before we get started with your very last learning project next week on learning portfolio. Okay? I'm going to shut up now. You can question. You can waste your time and come to your table. All right?
So next Thursday will be in class.
Not yet. Not the contract. The activity is very much the same, but only the journal, the discussions, and the problem. In the contract, you still have to remove, right? Remember, T114 next Thursday. T114, for the midterm, okay? Yes, T114. I hope you'll do it again next Thursday. T114 next Thursday. In the very last learning contract, each page free topics. Okay, your free topics. At the same time, if I join this pair, we will put all 3 individual topics in, and we will expect the other pair to help us to finish discussing 3 individual topics. But in your team, it's different because you have 1 pair, second and third pair, right? So you can do this. You have each pair still have the 3 topics, but individually, you can engage this pair on topic and other pair on topic. Sometimes this pair on last topic. It really depends on which pair you want to start, especially this one. You have to discussing individually or 3 topics by engaging basically, in the team discussion all of you join this discussion. We do not need to handle it. We just go there and produce a topic there. And the other bit is principle. And we got since everyone can go to that when we produce a topic there, we must take it very carefully. But rotation, for example, I would say A discussion topic, and then the discussion topic. Okay, if I belong to pair B, I would say pair B discussion topic. Then you understand these topics belong to A. I'm going to discuss them. Yes. You can have 3 topics all together in 3 different discussions. In a 3 discussion topic. No, you don't include it.
Each pair has to produce 3 topics that easily questions.
3 different discussion topics. Yes. But the only thing you need to be mindful is that there's a lot of extreme you don't get confused. As I said, if I read and each pair has 3 topics, right? So I would say pair A first topic, type A topic, pair A second topic, type A topic. And people will understand when I look at the whole discussion forum, I should see 9 different topics, 3 belong to each pair. And go into 9 different discussion topics and see who's the closest. Up to you, because you need to select. We have 3 weeks, right? 8 weeks, 8 week time. Because you will select maybe overlap questions. We have 4 distinct questions. And then you have to use 3 sets of 9. Mostly they don't overlap, but the interesting thing is how do you discuss something which is overlap? Okay, that is my intent. You don't just say this. It's okay. So no, let me see what happened. Let me see. When did it respond to the 3 posted once? Because in each of the discussion topic, it is counted. We look at things like this. Okay, it is counted how many times you respond. It's okay. It's a process. Because you just, I remember I wrote this once. Yes. Because when I check the discussion forward, you just repeat it once, okay, to your theory, and this is great, okay.
but not in the way expect. Typically not follow tribes. Because if you follow tribes based on the rule of 3 times you have to score 3, and you just stay at 1 to respond. Do you see the meaning of it? Response proposed and understood. That if you got 0 point, you will not enter this session. If you got 1 term, that means you interact once. Okay, you got 2 is price. And then 3 points with codes and understood. The number of response is very important. This is my banking again. And then this is post by. This is post by. This is what I'm doing the second time. Okay. And then this is the first part. This is from your perspective. You did not follow these tribes over the which that means after the reform and after that first response, you need to follow again. You stop there and then the discussions still happen on the screen. This is left so to earn the score for 3 or 4, you need to, for the second one, at least 3 times response. Yes, at least 3 times response. You expected to respond to at least once. You put forms in the way, and you expect them to respect, and then you look at the response, provide further feedback. It depends on how your response. That's why I say that your discussions. Your just thinking for my confession. And your much favor tends to influence many things on the Japanese person. In that case, you're just underusing your mindedness to one time. Because after you reform this, can't not follow all basis. That's why we say you have to 3 times the response to O, and the response to I, and the response to A. Now that is already 6 times. Okay, so with that 6 times, definitely you've got 4 plots in it. If you didn't do it this way, even though you have a lot of information in one post, but it's only one post. So that's why I say it's okay to set up only small points. Okay, as I said, if you have 4 points for journal, you have 3, 12 points for discussion topic, you have 20 points for journal, report, 20 points for the blog, you have 4 points for the post, 4 points for the 15 minutes. So altogether 64 points. So out of 64 points, you earn a number of points for this whole discussion. So that's why I say you have to pack them up together to see how it goes. Okay, now you have to understand that. Let's take a look at the report. Now we're going to talk about the report. We look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5. Okay? So let's take a look at what do you think you want to do? When you give a score of 3 here, that means based on reading your report, you have achieved this which is not bad. Okay? We've got 3 points here. But when you look at the second content, you just got to achieve this. Okay? 2 points. Why couldn't you do more? Instead, we use the appropriate relevant content to develop this for the most of the work. This is very general. We want to get on 3 that we use appropriate relevant comparative content. The difference between content and relevant content do include events, possible content, use interest. Okay? And then what we need is to explore within the content of this discipline. Now this is just content. Content of discipline shape the whole world is very important. If we would like to use the content of discipline based on the topic, it's not have to ignore the discussion of something that is equal based on some specific reference that is expected. So we have to learn how to add content items into the report, which is disciplinary related. That means very much like how do we do that? We have to go back to the report. So we have to go back to the look at this beginning. Okay, we know we're talking 2 topics. And then base general comes to the whole topic. Okay. And then base comes to the 2. That means this is called the general. This is the transactions. Following horizontal rules of giving expectations or writing using the font. So up to this, as we have to look at very this is this means only values that tend to be used in the same. This is called expectation. So for expectation, first of all, I expect each one to follow the report writing guidelines. And the report writing guidelines specific Disciplines are about specific related respect to the cost you choose to work on. So that is very important. You learn this rule because, as I said before, you want to have good scores and you want to do more based on the course of the people. You have to be sure everything done is consistent. Find the result. So with that, this on free is not fair. You start but it's meaning between the language of the audience for the hero. That means overall the region you still discover that there is something that is not terrified. Okay? Normally it's not issues. Normally just this is what arguments gain options. You can have a good solution to this problem also. This may not get that for okay. This is free. Which I think I suppose you say is not too bad. If you want to get the look at that. Excellent means you want to fulfill this one. So I think it's not too bad. It's already. Okay. So if you want to full school, it's learn in the past, I have student class, but many students say it's a little bit too difficult for us to do because they need to do a lot of formatting, and some students spend a lot of time doing formatting, so studying the concepts, I do not require my student to use method writing guidelines. So I hope you don't mind it. You really need it seems to be very not doing over the 我 Yes. Let me give you the time. Thank you very much. Make sure that I can switch on.
Yeah. That's how we talk about each pair. That is the thing.
Yes, that is the contribution to the team.
So it's all in our
Three parts. Yeah, right.
do you understand?
So may I pass the time to Helen and Vicky? They have something to share with us today. You can pick up the microphone there, and I'm so glad. Let's see if I can help you to fix the smart board there, because I do not see any, perhaps because of the yes, I think it's work. It's a great issue on this one. Okay, it's up and running. Thank you. So let's pass the time to Helen and Vicky. Yes, we can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vicky and she is Helen. Today we would like to share a topic about social web.
Okay.
At the beginning, we think that social web is a set of social relations that link people through the World Wide Web. It encompasses how websites and software are designed and developed in order to support and foster social interactions. And we are going to play a video and give you a basic understanding of future of social web.
Thank you.
I recently published a report called The Future of the Social Web. A huge multiple companies like MySpace, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Evo, Microsoft. You find out what do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years. Well, you know what? Nobody can tell you how forward. It's just moving so quickly that you can't see it. But when we boil it down, there's actually 5 eras of the social web. The first era is called the era of social relationships. And we've already done that, and it's a mature stage. This is when people connect to each other and share information, like you would on LinkedIn Answers or on Facebook or even MySpace. Now, the second era is the era of social functionality. And we entered this era about 2 years ago. And this is when social networks become like operating systems. What does that mean? It means that third-party companies and developers can build applications and widgets and put them on top of social networks. Let me give you an example. Like Facebook F8 platform. People build a Scrabble game, Scrabulous, or XMe, which you can throw silly things to people. Or in LinkedIn, you can share documents with people. This is an example of social functionality. People are getting more things done by working together. The third era, which we've just entered, and this is where we're starting to look towards the future, is the era of social colonization. And new technologies are coming around like Facebook Connect or OpenID that allow every single web page on the web, on the internet, to be social. And this means that every single product, every product page, even if a company or media site doesn't choose to participate, will be social. As you walk around the city, you can access your mobile device and find out what do your friends think about that restaurant, and what do you think. And this impacts how people are going to make decisions. So that's an unstoppable force that's coming. The fourth era is the era of social context. So now that you have this ID, this profile that you can take with you, if it's a Microsoft ID, maybe it's a Google one or Facebook, one that you trust. In the future, you can choose to share pieces of that, your profile, your information, to different websites or companies, e-commerce sites, in exchange for a more personalized experience. So I can share, hey, I'm an Asian male in the Bay Area, in his mid-30s, and I like these types of things. So if I go to a big site like eBay or Craigslist, it can serve up information without me even having to register. Information becomes a lot more relevant, and so it's advertising. And then the last era is the era of social commerce. Essentially, this is when communities start to look and behave like companies and brands on their own. Well, we've already seen communities do group buys where they can work together to bring down the price. That's just the start. In the future, they'll start to identify their pains, and then they're going to start to collaborate amongst themselves and identify what should the ideal product look like to meet those pains. In the farthest context of this, these communities will actually go to brands with a spec in hand. Here's the type of bicycle, this mountain bike that we want you to build. Would you like to bid for our business? And we'll be giving to you and your competitors. Let us know, and maybe we'll buy it. So the future of the social web, just to tie things up, the power is shifting to the communities. So for brands to be really relevant in this, they need to join those communities and participate as quickly and as fast as they can.
Social web is like a platform for us to share and learn information, experience, and learning by feelings. Comments to different things such as products and others' experience that you can share with others. And then also we can meet people with similar interests from all around the world. Whenever you get on the web, you'll see everything that's going on today at a glance. We can find, promote and share events and products maybe for free. Then let's talk about the interpretation for us. And then this is the first interpretation questions. What are the benefits of the social web? For general, we can connect with others no matter where, connect and make friends from all around the world and who have similar interests and goals with you, and we can go through together. Share experience, feelings, and information to others through social web such as Facebook or Twitter. And the main point is we can relax our mind because we can express the feelings and emotions that we do not really want to express in our normal life, but in a virtual life. The next page. For education, it is easy and convenient to share our documents, our questions and ideas between our peers and classmates. Students can get deeper knowledge through the discussions with other classmates without shy, because we are very shy for the foreigner. Yeah, just not too close because we are in the class. In the university, we have UN Moodle as a simple social web to connect each other, thus meeting people and staying connected with others, classmates and friends in the major benefits of social networking sites. For the business, it is a good way for advertising, promote and share the products. And more people will tend to buy the products, which some people share their experience in the social web for the good performance of the products. So there will be more benefits for their business. And the next questions will be presented by
Vicky.
The second question is about what are the disadvantages of social web. The main disadvantage is the privacy issue. It may lose the privacy when share our personal information in this social web. and it will decrease our purpose level in our wild internet world. For example, some websites will appear as advertisements and telling that we will win very surprise money, maybe earning the $1 million. But if you fill your personal information, then it will steal your private information. On the other hand, it may regret all the photos and comments that we post. Information will stay in the internet forever. It may affect our normal life. At last, the online bullying will be increased because everybody can express their comments and talk anything freely. Then, if we added in paying this, it will ignore our work and study. And some computer first will suffer from only an email or by clicking any link.
So these are applications. In our opinion, social web is a revolution in World Wide Web. Social web gives us platform to express our ideas and information, create a lot of chances. This is benefits for general applications and business. Also, it is very useful for us to connect with different people from different places. Macau is a busy place. We cannot always meet with our friends to remain our friendships. We can use social web to connect with them and know their situations anytime. It seems we have more benefits in the future. But when we use too much time to this social website, we may ignore our local life. I think social web is just like any another community in virtual. We should respect others and should not addicted to it.
And in my opinion, I think that social web is more convenient to put the people's communicate together. No matter how far away you live, you can be through the social web to connect with your friends and family. In addition, it brings people to know each other more. It is more effective way for students to study, for example, with e-learning, but also it will decrease our perfect level. This is the end of our sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think you two have done a very good job in helping us to understand this very complicated topic in a very interesting way. Thank you, Helen and Vicky. So may I ask, is there any other who would like to share during the remaining 5 to 10 minutes time in class? If you would like to share, you're welcome, because this is a PBL classroom too. You want to share? Something you want to say? Okay, not today. Do you have something to share? Okay, that's fine, that's fine. All right. In case you miss this wonderful set of informations, which is located in last week number 9 and day number 17, I highly recommend that you try to read or watch this number of very interesting talk by Don Tapscott. He's a very interesting guy, particularly this one called Designing Your Life. Okay, this is a TED Talk. And he's the guy who has been doing a lot of research behind the lab generations, and particularly for those of you who are growing up digital in the context of Education 2.0. His talk is very inspiring. During the Easter holiday, it might be a good thing for you to watch, all right? So, excellent. Yes, yes. Okay, thank you very much.
So that's it for today's CISG 114, Section 1, Web Technology and Life on April the 17th, 2014. This is week number 10, the week just before the Easter holiday. So stay tuned until next week.